Yo, what is going on, guys? Today, I wanted to go over some of the Week 18 predictions for this week and what I think is going to occur in this final week of the NFL. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, in the first game of the week, is going to be Panthers versus Bucks. Now, this is for the NFC South title. And personally, I think that Carolina is going to get it done here, go to the playoffs for the first time in a long while since Carolina's been to the playoffs. It's been a bit of time, and I think this is the year they finally break through. The Bucks have been on a bit of a decline in the end of the season here. Baker is not playing half as well as he was playing at the beginning of the season. Ibuka has cooled off a little bit as we've come down to the end of the season here. And I just feel like the Bucks have not gotten in a good place. I wouldn't be surprised if they miss the playoffs, lose this game, if Bowles gets fired, honestly, because they've honestly kind of been a disappointment these last couple of years. But, yep, give me the Panthers. And yeah, Panthers going to the playoffs. Next up, we got the Saturday night game, Seattle versus San Francisco. This is by far, in my opinion, the best game of the week. Basically, for the 1 seed, Seattle wins, they get the 1 seed in the NFC. San Francisco wins, they get the 1 seed in the NFC. All the marbles in this game. Both these teams are very good. Seattle is coming off of that big win against the Rams a couple weeks ago. San Francisco is coming off that big Sunday night win last week. And I think that San Francisco gets it done here. Shanahan and Purdy, they've looked good this year. They've figured it out. They are experienced. They've been in many big games like this. I do not trust Darnold in big games despite the big comeback that he had in the Rams game. So give me San Francisco. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it probably comes down to about touchdown difference, maybe a field goal, but probably I think it's going to be a touchdown difference. And I think that 49er pass attack just overwhelms the great Seattle defense. And San Francisco is the 1 seed in the NFC, which I think could be interesting because I do not think they are the best team in the NFC, but this would give them the 1 seed. So yeah, give me San Francisco in this game. Next up, we got Saints versus Falcons, the other NFC South matchup of the week. And in this matchup, I've got the Falcons by a big margin, coming off the Bijan explosion that we saw in Monday Night Football last week, putting up almost 200 yards. Just played a great performance by Bijan. I expect, honestly, another big performance from Bijan to end out the year. I mean, man, we got to get him on a good team. Like, it's a shame Bijan hasn't been played any playoff games to this point in his career yet, but that is beside the point. I think Tyler Shuck has surprised me. I did not think much of him coming out of Louisville, coming into the draft. I thought the Saints reached on him, picking him that high. But he has looked better than I thought he would. I thought he was kind of a pumpkin. So given the fact that he's actually kind of putting up some numbers, he has surprised me. But I don't think that they have enough. The Falcons are playing their best football right now of the whole year. If they had played this way the whole year, they'd be solidly a playoff team. So it's almost a shame. I mean, there's a lot of games like that Patriot game where they lost basically because of the kicker. So, I mean, I feel like this team was better than they've like turned out to be in the end. But for this game, it's week 18. Give me the Falcons to get the dub to cap off the year. Now on to Bengals versus Browns. This is going to be a meaningless matchup that is going to mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. I believe the Bengals starters are expected to play in this game, which is a bit surprising to me given that they are playing for nothing. And they got a quarterback made of glass in Burrow. So another great move by that coach there, but I forget his name, but he's an idiot. So give me the Bengals. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, we all know what they can do. Should have had a better season, probably. Shador is a scrub. He's not very good. His defenders will defend him aimlessly, but there's nothing they can do to make him look good. He is an atrocious quarterback. He was lucky to be taken in the 5th round or whatever, 6th round, whatever it was. He should have been taken at all, in my opinion. But that's beside the point. Cleveland's not going to have their best offensive player, Harold Fannin, the tight end. So they're going to be down their best offensive player pretty much. Other than Quinshad Judkins, who's also hurt. So, yeah, give me a pretty big margin victory for the Bengals, as they just have way more NFL talent than the Browns do at this point. Next game up is Colts versus Texans. This is going to be a very handedly Houston Texans win. That defense is suffocating. It is one of the best defenses I've ever seen. That front four, especially Will Anderson on one end and Danielle Hunter on the other, just absolutely terrifying defense. They are going to destroy the Colts. Riley Leonard is not a very good quarterback. He's taken over for Philip Rivers this week. And yeah, I don't think he's got any shot of doing anything against this Texans team that I believe still has a chance to win the AFC South with a Jags loss and a Texans win. So I believe they will be playing their starters. CJ Stroud is elite, obviously. He'll get the job done. And yeah, one last thing, props to Philip Rivers, is that was his last game, that last Colts game. And I think his return solidified the fact that he's a Hall of Famer. The fact that somebody can come back at 44-year-olds as a grandfather, ball out against these NFL defenses, just is amazing to me. So yeah, good for him, and wish him well in retirement. And Texans are going to kill the Colts in this game. Next up is Titans versus Jaguars. This is still an important game for the Jaguars because, as previously stated, if they lose and the Texans win, they would drop to a wildcard team and the Texans would win the NFC South. So this is still a very important game for them. I believe they will get it done against this Titans team. I think that Trevor Lawrence, he's figured something out with this, with Liam Cohen in there and Brian Thomas Jr. That Washington receiver, he's pretty nice for them. I like the way he played in that game against the Broncos. But I think they just will overwhelm the Titans. I think Cam Ward actually will be a good player, which I didn't believe. I wasn't a Cam Ward believer when he was taken in the draft. I didn't like what he did in college, really. Never really playing a high-level college football game, never getting to the playoffs. But he has looked good. He's made some incredible plays this year. It's clear that he is more of an athlete than I thought he was, which has actually been kind of surprising. But besides that, the rest of the Titans is just abysmal. There's a reason they're so bad this year, and it's not Cam Ward. It's the rest of the team. The interim head coach has done a decent job, but they really regret firing Vrabel. What a mistake that was. And yeah, so give me Jags. Pretty handedly game. I think this will be a double-digit win easily. If not up to like 20 points, 25 points. That's how much I think this Titans team is bad. But yeah, give me the Jaguars. The next matchup takes us over to the NFC North for Packers versus Vikings. Now, I don't believe either team is playing for anything in this game. Because I think the Packers are locked into that 7 seed in the NFC, and Minnesota's obviously eliminated from the playoffs, so there's nothing really at stake in this game. I think the Packers might play some starters, but they also could very well just rest their people for this game. I saw JJ McCarthy is going to be playing in this game for the Vikings. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, that Brosmer guy is pretty bad, but so is McCarthy. McCarthy has shown himself to be not very good throughout this NFL season. like I would have thought. He was. I did not have. There was no way I thought he should have been taken in the first round. That was just abysmal. And then honestly, I'm not a big Darnold guy either, but they probably should have kept him since they knew JJ McCarthy was so bad. But it is what it is. He cannot get Addison and Justin Jefferson the ball, which is a shame because I think Justin Jefferson might ask out of Minnesota after this season because he is not going to stick around to play with that shit quarterback, just to be honest. So, yeah, give me Green Bay in this game. Even if the Packers play their backups, I still think they have a really good chance against JJ McCarthy to win. So, Packers by double digits if their starters play, probably single digits if their starters don't play, but Packers no matter what. Next up, we got an NFC North battle, Cowboys versus Giants. This game is meaningless, no stakes. Both teams are out of playoff contention. The New York could probably benefit from losing this game because even though they lost the number one overall pick last week by winning, they could potentially get a better draft position if they lose this game. Dallas could too, but they've got enough wins that they're far out from like a top five pick or anything, so it really doesn't matter. I think Dallas is gonna win this game. I know Dak isn't gonna start the game. He may not play the whole game. I would assume the rest of the starters will be in a similar way. But I still think that they'll get a big enough lead when they come out. They'll be able to weather the storm against this Giants team, which I think is going to be without Wan'Dale Robinson and some of their other players potentially. I think Brian Burns also a little banged up going into this week. So give me Cowboys to pull out this meaningless Week 18 victory. Next up, we have Jets versus Bills. The Bills are resting starters across the board. They are basically begging to get the 7 seed and play the Patriots. They feel very confident that they can go into Foxborough and win. I hope and think that might bite them in the ass in the end, but whatever. The Jets are not very talented. That quarterback, Connor Cook, is atrocious. Never should have been an NFL quarterback at all. Never saw anything from in him in college that would have warranted him playing at the next level. But here we are. And I think even with their second stringers, Trubisky out there, this Jets team is so putrid that I think that the Bills will still pull it off because the Jets are also actively trying to lose. They want that pick. I mean, Glenn might say, rah, rah, we're going to go out here and win and play our hearts out, but I think they want that pick. I don't think Glenn's going anywhere. I think he'll be here next year. He wants that pick. I don't think he's playing for his job. So give me the Bills over the Jets, despite Bills playing second stringers and third stringers. Next up, we have Lions versus Bears. Now, the Bears are still playing for the second seed in the NFC. The Lions are playing for effectively nothing except for a winning season. But Dan Campbell's teams have been surprisingly good in meaningless games. Like, I'm pretty sure he has a overall winning record in games that are meaningless with the Lions. And they are not going to give up just because they're out. I remember a couple years ago, they had nothing to play for. They came out and spoiled the Packers' playoff chances. So I actually think Detroit's going to win this game. I think coming off of the letdown from last week for the Bears, they might have a bit of a letdown game again here. This is kind of like a trap game. Lions are going to play tough. They're going to play hard for Campbell. That rushing attack is just brutal with Gibbs and Montgomery. Jared Goff did not have a good week last week, but I think he steps it up a little bit this week. Cuts down on the turnovers, and I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams has a rough game in terms of turnovers in this game. I think the Bears already lead the league in turnovers, and Caleb Williams has been a big part of that. And I think it happens again this week. I think he has 2 or more turnovers in this game, and I think the Lions edge out the Bears to win this game. Next up, we've got the pivotal game between the Chargers and the Broncos Obviously, both of these teams will be going to the playoffs next week. The matter of question is seeding. The Chargers are resting their starters this week, seemingly angling to play New England just like the Bills. Meanwhile, the Broncos are playing for the 1 seed. And unfortunately for my Patriots, I think that the Broncos are going to pull this game out and clinch the 1 seed. Bo Nix is a fraud. He's an overrated bum. He is not a good quarterback, but he's going to do just enough to get the win against a resting Chargers team, and they will get the bye in the AFC to start the playoffs. And I think the Chargers will end up going to New England to Foxborough to play the Patriots in the wild card round, but that's for another day. For today, I got the Denver Broncos over the Chargers in Week 18. For the next game, I've got Cardinals versus Rams. I think that the Rams will win this handedly. There's not much to say about this game. Cardinals have not been good this year. They need a new quarterback. They need a lot of things. Marvin Harrison has not lived up to what he was supposed to be. The Cardinals' defense is not anything special, and I think they're a little banged up as it is. This is just going to be a meaningless Week 18 game, with the exception of all eyes on Matthew Stafford to see how he performs in his race for the MVP. I think that Monday night performance last week should have clinched it for Drake May. Honestly, you cannot throw 2 pick sixes on national television and still get the MVP. That's just my opinion, my biased opinion, granted, as I'm a Patriots fan. But that is the biggest thing that's going to be had in this game, is how well does Matthew Stafford play and how does it compare to the play of Drake May, as those are the 2 people still in the running for the MVP. But other than that, Rams handedly win this game and go to the playoffs as a wild card team. To wrap up the completely meaningless games of Week 18, we cap them off with Chiefs versus Raiders. The Patrick Mahomes-less Chiefs versus the Pete Carroll-led Raiders. This will be Pete Carroll's last game coaching in the NFL. I believe he will be fired after this game. They brought him back to solely achieve the getting of the #1 pick, and if he loses this game, that will have been accomplished. As they sit atop the NFL draft right now, likely vying for Mendoza or Dante Moore. The Chiefs played very well against a very good Broncos team last week, and I have no reason to doubt that they will not play the same against a very bad Vegas team and get the dub to cap off a calamitous season in which they lost their future Hall of Fame quarterback to a brutal knee injury. But give me the Chiefs this week. For the next game, we have the Miami Dolphins versus my New England Patriots. I believe that the Patriots will easily get the win in this week. Dolphins team will put up a fight. A-Chain is a hell of a running back. They've got a decent offense with Waddle out there, but their quarterback, Quinn Ewers, is not going to be able to get the job done. I think Drake May is going to solidify his MVP case this week with another 300-yard, multiple TD performance against these Dolphins. It's going to be very cold and possibly snowy in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Does not bode well for the warm weather Dolphins, who very often freeze when it's the temperature below 50 degrees. So give me the Patriots in this game to get the dub in Week 18 and go into the playoffs, most likely as the 2 seed. Even following the events of this week between the Stephon Diggs news and the Christian Barmore news, they will get by all the distractions and get the dub against the Finns this week. For this next game, we've got the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles, in a game which the Philadelphia Eagles will be resting many starters, even though they do have playoff seeding on the line. I think that the Commanders, even without Jaden Daniels, will get it done this week. I think Marcus Mariota has been a very serviceable backup quarterback. He's able to get it done in certain situations. I thought the Commanders put up a decent fight a couple weeks ago when they played the Eagles. in Washington, and I think they will do so again. Although this time, I think they will win, given the lack of the starters of the Eagles, which I think is kind of stupid given the fact that they still are playing for playoff seeding. But that's on the Eagles. They are reigning Super Bowl champions, so I guess they somewhat know what they're doing. But give me the Commanders this week to finish off this calamitous season with a victory. Finally, to cap off the 2025 regular season and week 18, we have the battle to win the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as these games always are in the AFC North, this will be a mucky, physical game that will most likely come down to a single possession, a very defensive slugfest as they always are. But give me the Ravens. The Steelers are on the downturn, and after these last 2 weeks, even that loss against the Patriots, the Ravens look good. And I think that the Ravens are going to head in to the playoffs with a home game, with some momentum. And I think the Steelers have just been going downhill ever since. Rodgers did not look like himself at all. He is been, in my opinion, very bad this season. The Steelers' run game is decent, but they're going to be without DK Metcalf. They don't have much passing game as it is. Darnell Washington has been good, but other than that, give me the Ravens. Lamar is playing. He's back, and that's one of the biggest factors that I have that's pushing me towards the decision. I think the Ravens will win this. It will be a close game, but the Ravens will come out on top.